Hey, welcome to our chicken coop. So we just got chickens here a few months ago. Trying to get this figured out yet. So we've never raised chickens before. I don't know if there's even been chickens on this farm in the last 50 years. So dove into it. It's really pretty simple. We feed livestock to begin with, some cattle and hogs. So chicken can't be that hard. You know, give them feed, give them water, they produce eggs. Can't be that hard. We'll figure it out. So this is the kids' job. They come collect eggs every day. We got a couple chickens laying in our nesting boxes. We got these from my brother-in-law. He acquired an acreage and they had some of these upstairs in the barn, and he kept some for his chickens. We took some, so we got some nice nesting boxes there. The pen that this is in, this was the original milk house of the barn before my parents moved to this farm. So there's a hole off to the side. This is where the hose used to go through to pump the milk out of the milk tanks. We're reusing this part of the barn. We utilize our whole barn to begin with, but we're starting to utilize more of it with this. When my parents moved here, it was a calving pen. They used it as a calving pen to calve baby calves from the cows before they'd get milked. So yeah, now it's a chicken coop. And we put the wire up so we keep it coon proof in case coon came into the barn. Our waters are just a real simple water. We have to refill them every day, dump out any sawdust or chicken poop in it and stuff. I just use sawdust bedding, keep it pretty simple. We got a little bit of straw inside the nesting boxes. Egg production has been good and bad. When egg production drops, that means the eggs are not in the pen, they're somewhere on the farm, so we got to go find them. And it's a scavenger hunt with the kids. So we know when we go from 10 eggs to 3 eggs, something is not right. So we got nesting boxes here. Half of them will have nothing in it. The next one will have 8 eggs in it. Like 3, 6, this one actually has 8 in it. That one's got 4 in it. We did not get eggs yesterday, so we're getting them today. So we'll collect these eggs here quick. I'll leave some in here for the kids to get later because they got to have responsibility and chores. I will show you in a little bit where this leads to outside. Our chickens are free range. They can go wherever they want. They've got 170 acres to wander. They usually stay within about an acre range, so no big deal. We tend to have quite a few chicken eggs. This is, my son would call this one a dinosaur egg because it doesn't fit in the box very well. We're probably not gonna be able to get it shut. But this happens all the time. We got chickens that'll just lay random eggs on a nest wherever. So the $1 million question is, what do you feed your chickens? And Henrietta is really loud. That is our wild chicken that is always never in the pen at night. So we just let her go, and you know what? If a coon gets you, well, it's too bad. But she gets access to come in and go as she pleases. Go out to the timber. Get out of here. So that's our wild Henrietta, is what my son named that one. So what do we feed our chickens? Well, first of all, our chickens are free range. They can go wherever they want. We got a whole farm outside. We've got cattle and pigs here. So it's amazing once our cattle are up close to the building site. We do feed our cattle some grain, how much less feed we use in here. Because the chickens are out there, they're picking through cattle manure, they're picking in the grass and eating bugs, and they just don't eat much feed in here. But that's the natural instinct of chickens, is to go look for feed and grit and rock and stuff and lime. But in here, I keep it pretty simple. We do buy some pellets from town, not much, but most of what we use is just what we got around the farm. I got some corn here. This is actually some non-GMO corn that I grow. Just pull it out of my grain bin, 5-gallon bucket at a time, sprinkle some in here. Oats are a superfood. They're healthy for humans. I figure, why not give it to chickens? If they don't eat it and they don't like it, well, then that's fine. At least they got a chance to eat some. Cereal rye, the black pieces in there, that is buckwheat. And then you'll see some round ones in here. These are actually field peas. I plant cover crops on my whole farm, and I used some field peas last year with my cover crop mix. Untreated field peas are just a field pea. And I had like 4 or 5 extra buckets of seed in the grain drill, so I cleaned it out, and that's what we're actually feeding them. So it's got some field peas in it, buckwheat, cereal rye, oats. Yeah, it's just a whole mix. Throw it in there. They pick through. They eat honest to God, they eat most of it. Another thing I just started throwing out in the last week, and this is my own preference, and I don't know if this works or not. So when I eat eggs, or like deviled eggs, you have a little bit of salt on them. So I threw some C90 salt in. So that's what I like about C90 is it's sea salt. It's got over 90 trace minerals in it. It's healthy. If I can get the piece in my mouth. It's really good. It's very clean salt. We apply this to our crops, to our pastures, because it's got so many nutrients in it. I free choice it to my cattle. They love it. They've been very healthy and very good coats on them and hair since I started doing it. So I throw it in here. I figure, hey, the eggs might as well come out already salted, you know? The next thing is, there's a little bit of C90 with this. This is humate. So it's a 64% humic, 3% fulvic. And we actually apply some of this to our fields. So it's a humate, it's a humic acid. It's a how do I say this? It's organic matter is what you could call it. So this stuff is mined, it's just above the layer of coal when they mine it. And this is 100 million years of decay in plants and minerals and stuff. It decays. It's black, it looks like soil. It just crumbles. You can grab it and it just crumbles apart. It just crumbles and it sticks to your hands kind of like humus and humic and soil. So it's healthy for you too. You can eat it. I don't know if I'd eat a whole pile of it, but it's actually good for your health. At least that's what I was told. So it hasn't killed me yet, so my health seems to be pretty good. But I throw that in there. They actually pick through that and eat that pretty well too. Like I said, the chickens go outside. They got free range. We got a lime pile right outside, and I can show you out there. They pretty much roam the whole farm. And sometimes you get lucky and there are fresh critters. We're gonna see if we can catch it for the chickens to eat. Right there, a grasshopper, locust, the holy grail for chickens. Oh, by God, he's half alive. And I'm gonna put him, I'm gonna try to feed him this chicken, but I don't know if he's gonna eat it. I don't want to force him to eat it. I've seen these chickens outside eating these grasshoppers. So I'll keep it simple for them so they don't have to look hard for it. In the feed pan you go. One less grasshopper eating my crops. Recycle to the chicken. I'll eat the egg. Okay, so I'm going to take you outside, show you where our chickens are free ranging. Kind of just got the whole farm to range around on. Like I said, when egg production goes down, we know we have a scavenger hunt. We got to look for eggs. And they tend to lay eggs kind of anywhere. We've had them lay eggs in 5-gallon buckets. They typically will lay eggs in the gutter. So we keep this covered so my kids can walk over it and climb over and watch the chickens. And we noticed this the other day, our egg production dropped. We got looking. There was this huge nest of eggs in here with like 8 eggs in it. So I covered it back up and I let my son find them. We'll check it today. And this was from that wild chicken earlier, Henrietta. It was from that one. She has a hard time going in her pen. She always lays her eggs anywhere but a nesting box. So we got a nice egg there. I'm actually gonna take this and put it back. I'm gonna let my son find it tonight because he likes scavenger hunting. But we find that every week we have this where we'll have a couple days we'll drop production and then we gotta go look for eggs. So that's stuff we find right outside the pen. This is our barn cleaner. We turn that on, we're cleaning out the chicken pen and it brings it all the way outside. So we'll go outside, check out where they're running. So the chickens come out of the barn and we've got an automatic chicken door here that we installed. Chicken poop. So we just got a simple battery on it, and what it's got is it's got a sensor here, and then when the sun comes up in the morning, it opens up and the chickens go marching out like, you know, it's like clockwork. They just go marching out as soon as the sun shines. And then I want to say it's like half an hour or so after sunset. Then by then the chickens are all in there for the most part. They all are. They automatically close. It's got that sensor and it runs off that battery. Works pretty slick. I haven't installed a solar panel yet, but we're gonna get there. So what I'm standing on is a lime pile. So we actually use this to put on our our yards in the winter time, you know, to get traction on our tires, so it's when it's icy and stuff. We'll also put it in our cattle yards to give the cattle traction if it gets icy. So we always keep a pile. We get it by the dump truck. We just dump it here. It actually works really good because chickens need calcium and they need grit to keep their gizzards functioning. So they come right out onto a lime pile that is full of lime and grit. The black stuff there is some humate that I just dumped out there. It's the stuff I showed inside the pen, the black stuff. And I just throw it out here. I actually started a few weeks ago by throwing it out here, and they were just going crazy over it. They loved it. So I just keep it out here. I throw a little bit in the pen, pick and choose, eat wherever they want. During the hot summer, like right now, like this last week, it was 90-some degrees. By Saturday this week, they're talking 90s again, and it's going to be September 1st and 2nd. They're talking 90s again. So I like to have water out here. We let the chickens run the whole farm. So they come out of the barn there. They're always roaming throughout this whole area. We got grass. The cattle yard is right over here. So the chickens tend to go in the cattle yard and pick through cattle manure and eat leftover corn and stuff, because that's just the nature of chickens. But I put a bucket over here so they got water outside, so they don't have to go inside to find water. And I've noticed they don't really like to fly up in the cattle water and drink out of the cattle water. So I just put a bucket over here, and you can see there's actually one over there drinking out of it right now. And it's kind of nice because I don't have, it's a simple water system. I got a water hydrant right there. I just flip it on and give them water. So. One thing I really like about chickens is I can spill grain anywhere. And I used to pick it up and get fussy about that. Now I just leave it. Chickens will eat it. We got some cattle here. It's hot out. This one's kind of basting in the shade. But I got cattle cell feeders here. And you can come onto this side, you can see it pretty well. But the cattle will lick and they'll waste feed and it'll fall on the ground. And we don't have that waste no more because the chickens, there's actually one underneath the feeder right there. And there's usually, well, there's 2 of them, 3 of them underneath the feeder. But they will go under both these feeders. This feeder actually doesn't have any feed in it. The other one does. But they'll go over there and they'll eat the feed from the ground where the cattle waste it. You know, so we don't have any waste. Otherwise, before we had chickens, we would have waste. And now we don't have that waste. We've got another chicken over there, right up by the cattle shed door. And he's obviously eating bugs or picking through some cattle poop or something. And these are pasture cattle. They got access to pasture, but it's been really hot during the day, so they've been coming into the shade. And we've been putting corn stalk bales in there and keeping them bedded up with that. And the chickens have been going through. I mean, you can walk to that cattle yard. You won't find any corn in the poop. You won't find any feed anywhere. Anything that used to be spilled is all recycled now. So free-range chickens, they run, they eat the grass, they poop all over. So as you can see, our chickens are pretty happy. They love their life here. Let us know what you think. Comment, hit like, hit subscribe, and continue to follow our journey with our farming operation, all these chickens and fun stuff we do.